Now, let's be real here. Over the past decade, America has witnessed the re-emergence of something many hoped had been buried with history books, the mainstreaming of white nationalist rhetoric, and by now, some huge policies that match the rhetoric. And at the center of this storm, Donald Trump. Now, whether or not Trump explicitly endorses the alt right, although quite often he does, but just as importantly, his presidency gave them something they desperately craved: a platform and legitimacy. Trump is a megaphone. Trump's Twitter account became a propaganda device for extremist groups. His constant stream of unfiltered messages, whether late night rants or morning proclamations, was more than entertainment. It was a megaphone for the so called alt right, or fascists, or Nazis, or Klansmen, whatever you want to call them, the KKK types. And here's the thing: Trump rarely said the quiet part out loud at first. Instead, he would use coded language, dog whistles as they call them, phrases like political correctness is destroying America, or, he doesn't bow to the establishment, were some of the normal messages that we would hear. These words resonated deeply with people who already hold or held racist or xenophobic views. And the effect was validation, empowerment. Hate crimes rose, public discourse shifted, and white supremacist talking points began to creep into the mainstream. And by now, unfortunately, they are a dominant force in government. And part of it is the paradox of values. And here's where the paradox comes in. Here's what I'm talking about. Trump supporters often frame themselves as defenders of American values. They rail against political correctness. They say they're standing up for freedom, but at the same time, they're embracing voices that push the great replacement conspiracy and ideas that America should return to a time when minorities knew their place, which is, of course, the exact opposite of modern American values. And it's not standing up for freedom, it is oppression. So, this toxic blend of nationalism and bigotry isn't just rhetoric, it's now policy. It's reshaping the political landscape into something more dangerous and more divided than we've seen in generations. And a lot of this is also due to the media machine. And of course, that includes social media, but also, to a large degree, so called mainstream corporate media. Trump didn't build this alone, he had help from an ecosystem built on outrage. Social media algorithms, partisan media outlets, and content factories churning out videos. It's a nonstop flood designed to hook people, reinforce their biases, and lock them in what researchers call filter bubbles. Inside those bubbles, conspiracy theories thrive: the deep state, secret plots, alternative facts. Now, don't get me wrong, that there are conspiracies out there, but the idea that Donald Trump is not one of those people with sinister plots and plans is laughable at this point. We already know what he's capable of because he's done it. And anyone who dares criticize Trump, branded un-American or anti-Trump, no matter how valid the critique might be, and there are definitely some, well, countless valid critiques by now. And that mindset that you can't criticize him doesn't just reject argument, it shuts down the very possibility of debate in a lot of cases. And one reason this is so dangerous is that figures like, of course, Richard Spencer was one of them, even though he's not so much in the media spotlight nowadays, but he was an early example of the far right's rebrand. He repackaged racism in a sleek new outfit. So the alt right doesn't always look like the Klan anymore. It's rebranded in some cases as the intellectual, modern, chic, and maybe even fun. And Trump gave that rebrand oxygen. His refusal to outright condemn these groups told them, "You belong here." And if you want to know what I'm talking about, well, consider that as he talks about, like opposing terrorism and anti-Semitism, he's never dared to try to ban the KKK as a terrorist organization or even call out their anti-Semitism. The KKK is known for engaging in terrorist attacks, and they have an ideology that quite clearly is anti Semitic. Yet they want you to believe that the only anti Semites out there that are worth being concerned about happen to be students who are protesting against Netanyahu's genocide against the Palestinians. So, yeah, we're really we're really in a twisted state right now of just confusion because all of these groups that are actually posing threats to the American public are treated as if they either don't exist or like they're not a problem. Yet, if somebody is opposing an actual genocide and policies of deliberate starvation and all of that, they're treated as if they are the special problem. They are the threat. Well, the threat to democracy is more than polarization happening. It's a political climate where cult-like loyalty trumps reason, where alternative facts overpower truth, and where democratic norms are eroded one tweet, one rally, and one dog whistle at a time. And quite often, those dog whistles are now bullhorns. And that's not just politics, it's a threat to the very pillars of democracy. So thanks for listening. If you found today's discussion important, go ahead and share this episode and help keep the conversation going. I know this was a bit of a I almost said meat and potatoes style of episode where I sort of just go over the basic facts of what we're dealing with. But I think sometimes that's important to sort of contextualize what is happening right now. So ignoring this trend isn't an option. It's already reshaping the future of American democracy, if not outright destroying it. So yeah, we've got a fight on our hands.